Moving on to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 6. We got to see a upset there as Artem Lobov, once again, like I told you, defeated Pauli Malignaggi via decision. It was a clear-cut clean sweep of 48-47. So, in other words, Lobov winning 3 rounds, Malignaggi winning 2. And it wasn't as violent, perhaps, or as intense of a fight as some people thought. Admittedly, I perhaps should have predicted that a little bit, but like a lot of times when they are this angry, it doesn't necessarily materialize with the same carelessness that we got to see with Lobov and Knight. Because with Lobov and Knight, there wasn't really bad blood as such. It was just 2 real warriors going at it. You know, they didn't need the bad blood. Sometimes with the bad blood, it can kind of like, you don't want to embarrass yourself against that guy. Like Rampage Jackson versus Rashad Evans comes to mind. Heated grudge match where, you know, it was just Rampage had that classic line like, it's gonna be black on black crime. It was a fight that we were looking forward to so badly, and it ended up being kind of an okay fight with not a whole lot happening in it, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was hardly a bad fight between Malignaggi and Lobov. Just a bit more technical than people thought. Malignaggi definitely did not, I mean, he definitely did not want to get into a dogfight with Lobov, just as predicted. I mean, he wants to keep it more clean, more technical. He claims that he broke his hand in the second round, then showed up to the press conference with both his hands wrapped. Malignaggi kind of continued. He had the opportunity to sort of take this in a good way and sort of leave the antagonist stamp behind him. But he kind of didn't really do that. He said afterwards, I got pretty much the worst of everything because I got a shit decision and I made a tic-tac-toe board out of his face with my left hand. He also claims that he only got hit by 1 solid punch. For those who saw Pauli Malignaggi's face afterwards, it was pretty... I mean, unless Artem Lobov has fists the size of like ironing boards, I'm pretty sure that Malignaggi got hit with more than 1 solid punch. He also said, honestly, I'm not even kidding. I got hit with 1 clean punch all night. In that 1 clinch, I got hit with a couple of little good shots. In that 1 clinch, I think it was 2 little short shots he hit me with in one of the clinches, and that was it. I mean, otherwise, it was like little grazing shots that hit my stomach or grazed my face. I thought I pretty much outboxed him the whole way. Come on, Paulie. Being gracious in defeat is one of the best things you can do. I don't mind him disputing the decision necessarily, because I do feel like there are some different criteria that come into play here. I do feel that Malignaggi was definitely fighting the way that he would have done in a traditional boxing match, but it seems like sort of like aggression and ring control, I guess the boxing equivalent of octagon control, are weighed a little bit heavier in bare knuckle. That there is a sense of you know, aggression scoring more points, and Malignaggi, he was very defensive in this fight. I feel like he was constantly pedaling backwards and not necessarily, I mean, not doing a whole lot more than you know, he had quite a few solid jabs, but I just feel like Lobov was definitely the one on the offense, which, let's be clear, being on the offense doesn't always mean you're winning. I mean, look at Lyoto Machida, one of the finest counter strikers in the sport, who often will knock his opponents out going backwards, like he did against Chael Sonnen, like he did against Ryan Bader. That being said, though, I don't feel like Malignaggi was countering all that efficiently, and yeah, I mean, like I said, if he wants to dispute the decision, that's completely fine. That's his right. But I mean, when you go out and say just lies, because that's what it is. These are flat out lies. watch the highlights, the replay, we see that he gets hit with quite a few good shots. And unless his face is made of paper, you need solid shots to open up cuts in your face. Maybe this wasn't meant to be, said Malignaggi after a fight. A lot of people in boxing said, you shouldn't do this, you're a two-time world champion, this is beneath you. So it's like the most backhanded sort of like, he lifts himself up while also putting down the organization he just fought for. I don't know, I mean, he was definitely respectful after a fight towards Artem. I mean, he didn't say anything bad to Artem afterwards. But I don't know, it's just, he seems like a bit of a sore loser here, to be honest. It obviously did not go the way he planned. He probably knows he's gonna get a lot of ridicule for this in the coming years even. I mean, hell, like, I think it was Michael Bisping who said, like, you know, people still to this day will send him screenshots of him getting knocked out by Dan Henderson. So, I mean, I'm expecting Malignaggi to deal with this loss for a long ass time. Then we had a couple other noteworthy fights here. Dakota Cochrane, who took the fight with Chris Leben on short notice, actually ended up winning 49-46, 49-46, and 48-47. It was, yeah, I mean, Chris Leben, he said beforehand that, you know, Dakota Cochrane's sort of like, he's got some intense starts to his fights. And, yeah, this was a fight where I also felt that Leben didn't really get going. He couldn't really find his rhythm. It just felt like he was a little bit off in many of the exchanges. We may very well actually speak to Leben later on this week. He's a friend of MMAnytts, so yeah, we might touch a little bit more on that later on. But yeah, big win for Dakota Cochrane, who fought a smart fight, and it paid off. Johnny Bedford defeated Reggie Barnett Jr. by unanimous decision to win the lightweight title in BKFC. It was 47-45, 47-45, and 48-44. Yeah, I mean, big for MMA because obviously for those who saw the pre-fight press conference, it was kind of like an intense, there was a lot of heat between Bedford and Barnett Jr. Julian Lane, aka Let Me Bang Bro, defeated Tom Schoaf. Joey Beltran knocked out Jamie Campbell, and Joe Riggs got defeated by Walter Barros. Jim Ehlers, also former UFC fighter, defeated Elvin Brito via knockout. And yeah, those are, I guess, the most noteworthy names as such. So I don't know, I mean, I talked a little bit before about how Bare Knuckle FC is kind of like something that I'm like a little bit not necessarily ashamed but not directly proud to be following. I don't know, the more I see it, it's kind of warming up on me. Like, it's different. It's got definitely a different feel to it. It does feel a little grittier in many ways, but I mean, how they put in a lot of interesting, fun fights. I think this event in particular maybe had a few more decisions than they were planning on, and it was perhaps not as explosive as some of the fights could have been. But overall, though, I mean, they're doing the right numbers. I was listening to John Morgan's MMA Roadshow podcast, and he was talking about how the numbers that Pauli Malignaggi and Artem Lobov have been doing have been great. That a lot of times people have been clicking on that stuff a lot more than the UFC and Bellator shows, which says a lot. I mean, this is their 6th event, and they're already doing fantastic traffic. I know that we've been getting a lot of hits as well on our site, and I mean, you're playing the game right. I mean, say what you will about Bare Knuckle in general, or say what you will about their production or whatever. we're doing something right, obviously. And now, is that something just spectacle? Not only, but it's definitely a big part of it. I mean, had this just been some run-of-the-mill boxing organization starting up, there's no way they would have gotten as much attention. So bare knuckle definitely is something that intrigues people, and it could be because it's got that grittier feel in general. So